My next guest. It is Viktor Pylypenko, soldier of Armed Forces of Ukraine and the head of organization Militaries LGBT+. Hello, Viktor.
Hello.
It is nice to have you. Thank you very much for your time. You have a speaking name.
Thank you for invitation. Yeah, it's a pleasure to talk with you.
We appreciate that a lot. What exactly are you doing? How you are part of a medical team, part of an extraction team? Can you please tell us a bit more, if you can? What are you doing there?
Yeah, well, I started from 24th of February in 2022 as an infantryman, but later on I became a medic of a squad, then of a platoon, later on of the company, and now I am a part of the extraction team of the whole battalion. So I made like small career in the Ukrainian military during this second big invasion. So actually I'm working on the front line. So together with our team, we are extracting, we are evacuating the wounded from the battlefield. Yeah, so right now our 72nd Brigade is defending the nearby cities, and our positions are situated in the city of Vuhledar.
So it is a very, very hot front line where you're on now.
Yeah. So recently we had several attacks which were repelled very successfully. One of such attacks, Russians were trying to make with the tanks. They sent lots of tanks on our positions, but our brigade repelled this attack, and this battle is now one of the most prominent, successful Ukrainian campaigns. Yeah, so we completely destroyed all of their techniques by which they were trying to attack us.
Please accept my personal admiration for your bravery.
Thank you.
And it is it's a medal of bravery that has two sides, actually, because being an openly gay person these days in a society that it likes to oppress like almost everything, and defending your country with the weapons in your hands is taking a bravery to a new limit. I believe you have your brothers in arms over there that are not just only ordinary people, and LGBT plus has its issues there. Do you have a problem with your brothers in arms there? Do you have ever experienced any intolerance from them?
Personally, me, no. I had only one issue with one soldier during the whole 1 year and 6 months I'm serving in the 72nd Brigade. So I'm doing my work efficiently. I'm saving lives of guys, and they are grateful for me for that. And I feel lots of support from them. And not once I heard from them that they are ready to defend me whenever whenever I will have any homophobic attacks. Meanwhile, of course, there are certain issues with other openly gay or lesbian guys in the Ukrainian army. But I think every army have such problems in every country, even in the most developed ones.
Have you ever, just by the way, have you ever communicated with somebody in, say, American army or Western army who is an LGBT person? Have you?
Yeah, sure. We have a union which we call the Ukrainian LGBT military. We exist since 2018, and we communicate not only with the Ukrainian military, but also with our foreign brothers, especially after this second invasion, when the International Legion was formed. There were guys and ladies and even trans persons who
Right.
joined our union. Yeah. So, and they are openly LGBT people. So one of the most prominent one of them is Ma'am Cirillo, a trans person. She received a wound, by the way, not that long ago. Yeah, defending Ukraine. Yeah, and now she's also advocating for equality in our country and in the whole world.
Thank you for your answer. LGBT soldiers are fighting for Ukraine. According to the public organization Ukrainian LGBT plus Soldiers for Equal Rights, partnerships and same-sex marriages are not registered in Ukraine. So partners of such military personnel are not their relatives by law and therefore cannot officially receive information. For example, about the capture of a partner, about the fact that he or she has disappeared, cannot have the right to official recognition of the body or to inherit property. Draft law on the Institute of Registered Partnerships was registered in the Verkhovna Rada, but it has not yet been put to a vote. The importance of the draft law is that partnerships as a form of relationship registration will be available to everyone, but it will be the only opportunity for same-sex couples to officially register them. Draft law proposes to regulate the following matters: the issue of the property of partners as a common co-ownership, inheritance by law and by will, receiving a pension and cash assistance for a deceased partner, the issue of family leave, the rights of the partner to officially identify the body, study the causes of death, get acquainted with the medical documentation, dispose of the body, determine how the burial or cremation ceremony will take place, the right to give permission to use the partner's name and personal papers, the right to receive information when the partner is in captivity or missing, etc., etc. My question is, do you suffer from the absence of the law? In terms of your orientation, do you need this law to actually take place?
So LGBT plus people are deprived of their basic rights in the Ukrainian army and in the Ukrainian society. We are deprived from the basic rights to be protected by the law. I'm talking about our families, our partnerships. So if somebody will die from the LGBT community on the front line, their partners, their kids, they will not be protected by the law. So it should be changed.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is a terrible, terrible discrimination. I mean, you are fighting for your country with the weapons in your hand. If, God forbid, if anything happens to you, you're like you're not from the other planet.
And actually, and we had stories when a partner received a heavy wound and his beloved wouldn't access him into the hospital because he was nobody to him. Following the Ukrainian legislation, and this should be changed.
Pardon me. In terms of legislation, we understand that it is hard sometimes to move the law according to the actual situation. Not that fast it happens. But in terms of that, like ministers and very high officials, or not just ordinary people on the street, say that we have to be careful with that. We have to be careful about LGBT people. What is the reason for this fear? What we have to be careful about you? Why? You do the same. You are a brave person fighting for Ukraine. And when it comes to a marriage, you're not not enough person, or what? What is the reason? What is the internal reason for that, do you think?
Well, I think that there are still bigots which exist in the Ukrainian society regarding LGBT propaganda. If we will be allowed to marry, then children will see us marrying and they will turn gay or lesbian. But by bringing the word of science, we are changing people's minds. We are talking to them. We are explaining that gay propaganda is a complete nuisance. And we are also showing our faces on the front line. We are also telling people that we are their defenders as well, together with heterosexual people, that we are not some demons which should be afraid of.
Thank you very much for your answer, Viktor. I would like to talk about the sociology right now. In June, sociologists of the Kiev International Institute of Sociology published a survey on Ukrainians' perception of LGBT military personnel. 68% of respondents have a positive attitude to the fact that LGBT people are fighting, and only 10% evaluate it negatively. In 2022, these indicators were respectively 66% and 11%. Among those who are indifferent to LGBT people, 61% approve of their participation in the war against Russia. So I will now make a statement, agree or disagree with that. Ukrainian society is changing towards understanding and tolerance of LGBT plus people. Is that the case, do you think? Do you think that this is happening?
It is changing drastically, I should say. I can feel lots of acceptance and inclusion for the last months, years. Yeah. So I remember the attitude of the Ukrainian society in 2018, when I even was assaulted by a homophobe in the center of Kiev. But now I can feel myself freely and supported in the military brigade. Yeah. And we are often talking on the LGBT topics with the guys because they're interested. I'm explaining them everything they want to know. And I don't feel any aggression. Of course, you can hear some stories about certain issues in the Ukrainian army or in the Ukrainian society. It will not escape from that really quickly. But I can state that there are changes taking place in the Ukrainian society towards LGBT community, which I can feel. Yeah.
Great. It is. I'm glad to hear that. Returning to the question that I already asked you, I have another part for this question. When you were talking to colleagues or your friends or anybody in Western Army or American Army, the LGBT people, I mean, do you think or do you know maybe that the issues of LGBT people in Ukrainian army and LGBT people in Western armies are more or less the same, or maybe they are different?
Actually, they're quite the same. Especially, I remember I was talking to a veteran. He's a guy in his 70s. I think he's of age, and he was starting the same LGBT military community in the United States, in Chicago. Yeah. So, and I remember him telling the same stories with which I've met in Ukraine while starting my activist life as an activist. So he shared the same problems, he shared same stories, and there were lots of similarities. And but as we know, in the U.S. Army, everything finished successfully. Yeah. So there is an inclusion. They reached inclusion in the whole society, and same will happen in Ukraine. I really believe in that.
Great, amen to that. Viktor, I said amen to that. Thank you very much for your for your bravery, again, for being someone who defends your ideals and the country. I hope we will see you soon and talk to you on any matters on the issues of LGBT people or the advance of Ukrainian army and the soon victory.
Yeah, victory to us all.
Victory to us. Glory to Ukraine. Thank you very much.